Hello and welcome to my channel. So in today's video I thought I would share the 10 things that I wish I'd known before postpartum. First thing that shocked me was how much more painful and difficult postpartum was compared to what I thought and what I expected. It was extremely painful. I'd say even more painful than labor itself, because my labor was very difficult, so my bones and joints had to open up more than normal, and I could literally feel every single bone moving back into place, every single joint moving into place. I had so much pelvic pain, hip pain, all kinds of pain, and the after pains were actually not that bad. After pains are the little contractions that make your uterus smaller, shrink it after the birth. I felt them, but they were very mild, they didn't bother me. But the pains of all the bones and everything getting back into place, those were a killer. And of course the stitches, all the bruising, all the swelling. I remember I couldn't really sit on the toilet for a couple of weeks. I had to squat. I couldn't sit for 2 weeks, even on a donut-shaped pillow. It was just pain, pain, pain all day long. Another thing I totally didn't expect is how any kind of remnants of embarrassment, of shyness, of privacy completely disappeared during labor and after. So, during labor and birth, that's completely natural. We all kind of expect it. But afterwards, it's the same. For example, when they brought me back to the room after giving birth, I couldn't even go to the toilet by myself, and to be honest, it's a good thing, because I could have fainted at any time. I was totally out of it. I was so tired and in so much pain. So there was a nurse standing in the room with me. Apparently they can't leave the patients alone just in case they faint. And then I remember the next morning a doctor came for his visit, checked all of us 3 ladies in the room, and it was literally like, take off your knickers and let me see how much you've been bleeding. Very businesslike. I was quite shocked, but then at the same time it was kind of natural as well, because we were all in the same boat. The third thing I didn't expect and I wish I'd known is how much I would have to rely on my husband's help. So for the first couple of weeks I couldn't get out of bed, apart from getting to the toilet somehow, almost crawling, and that's it. I couldn't really change the nappies. I think I changed only one nappy while I was still in the hospital, and I nearly fainted while doing it because the pain was so bad. So for 2 weeks I relied on my husband to change the nappies, to cook for me, to clean the house, to look after the whole household. Everything was done by him. Literally all I could do was just nurse my baby. And it's beautiful because my husband got to look after his family, but he sprained his back as well, so he was also in a lot of pain for a few days, and so he could hardly move. And I remember that time thinking that I wish my mom had been there, and that I would wish for her to be there during my next birth. So that's definitely something to consider for the next time. The fourth thing that I wish I'd known is how much more emotional I would be after giving birth. I was more emotional than normal during pregnancy, but after giving birth is something completely different, because the hormones are falling, all of your emotions are all over the place, because suddenly you are this new human, you're suddenly a mommy, your life has changed, it will never be the same. It's kind of overwhelming, and plus if you add the sleepless nights, all the stress, all the pain and everything else, it's just too much. And I'm not an emotional person at all, but when we came back from the hospital after 24 hours from the birth, I looked at the video my husband filmed as soon as my baby was out. I looked at it and I just started bawling my eyes out, and I couldn't stop, and it was totally not like me. My husband didn't know what to do with me, and I just cried and cried and cried, and those tears were everything at the same time. Happiness, gratitude, pain from all the traumatic births that I just lived through, everything all at once, and it was healing. One more thing I wish I'd known is how much less importance I should give to books and how much more I should listen to my own mother's intuition. So at the beginning, as a first mom, I had no idea what I was doing, and I kept reading all these books, but they were just making me confused. Same about forums and all kinds of blogs. At the end of the day, we're all different, all of our babies are different, and I didn't really find peace and confidence in myself as a mom until I really started listening to my mother's intuition and to my own baby. And Leonardo is crying in the background. He's with his daddy. and he's not too happy this morning, teething badly. Another thing I wish I'd known is how all of my fitness and strength would literally melt away and disappear in one night. So just before I gave birth, I was still exercising. I did my normal fitness routine a day before I went into labor. And then during birth as well, I kept squatting and walking and being mobile throughout the whole time. I gave birth standing and I was so strong. But somehow, literally 15 minutes after giving birth, I was completely weak. I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't really walk. I could do nothing. And I was so surprised by my weakness. It took me a couple of months to get my strength back, and that's something I definitely did not expect. The seventh thing I wish I'd known is how boobs leak while you're feeding the baby. So I knew that they leak when you are getting really engorged, but I had no idea that while you're feeding the baby on one side, the other side leaks. Somehow people don't really talk about it. And it's something that was really annoying because for the first 3 months when I was overproducing milk badly, I literally had to keep my hand pressing on the other boob all the time while feeding because otherwise everything was completely soaked. And one thing that really helped me was the silicone, I think they're called lily pads or something like that. I'll link them down in the description box. They were really good because not only they were not allowing all that milk to come out and soak all my clothes, but they were also concealing the nipples, so it was easy for me to wear tighter clothes. And they were just so comfortable. I tried washable nipple pads and they were just horrible. I hated them, but those silicone ones were great. Another thing that I totally didn't expect was that babies aren't really these intuitive beings that know how to sleep, when to eat. At least my baby was like that. I don't know, maybe yours was different, but mine had no clue how to sleep, and he was just getting madder and madder and madder because he just couldn't sleep. Teaching him how to sleep was the best thing ever. It literally transformed our life, it transformed our relationship, it transformed him because he became such a happy and healthy baby. But I really had no idea that something as basic as sleeping is a skill that needs to be taught. One thing I wish I'd known is that all the babies are really truly different. I read all these books about attachment parenting and how important it is to always hold the baby on your body, to hold them for the first 6 months because they're not really supposed to be on their own, things like that. And I did my best, but not only it was really uncomfortable for both of us because it was summertime, it was super hot and we were both sweating like crazy, but at the same time every baby has a different personality, and my baby was very independent and liked his own space right from the first day. So he just wanted to be put on his own bed with his arms and legs spread out so that he could enjoy the fresh air in this heat of summer, and that's all he really wanted. But it took me a while to understand that. And the truth is that not every baby wants to be held all the time. Not every baby wants to be held while they're sleeping, and not every baby will get quality sleep if they're held. And the last thing that I wish I'd known is that things would get so much better around the 3-month mark. So everybody knows that the first 3 months are so difficult because you're literally learning how to live a new life, how to look after this new human, and everything gets so much easier and almost effortless from 3 months. And I remember it was 2.5 months, 2 weeks away from that deadline, and I was thinking, God, everything is even more difficult than ever. Nothing is getting better. I was so desperate, so sleep deprived, nothing was going right. Leonardo was just crying all the time. And if only I'd known that just 2 weeks down the line, everything would be so easy and so good because I would finally be able to sleep train him, I would have felt so much better. Because when you're so tired and struggling so much, it seems like your life is lost forever. It will never be better and things will always be so hard. But they won't be. So if you're a new mom yourself, trust me, things do get better. Even if things look worse than ever today, a week down the line, a month down the line, they will be so much easier. So that's it for today's video. Hope that you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments what you wish you'd known about postpartum before giving birth. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.